moving it to move it very gradually, which is for like very detailed movement, very detailed increments. So I'm just gonna hit Beast Box Select, and I'm gonna bring all this front section down. See, it looks kind of like a fuselage. I'm gonna hit Control R and just add more of these vertices. Scale it up, holding Shift to move it up to just. You see, it's kind of jaggedy. You can hit Control R. You know, every time you see me add something, I'm pressing Control R. I may not say what I'm doing because it's kind of habitual, and I might forget to explain. Yeah, so just get a basic shape, you know, get a little kink in the nose like that. Looks pretty nice. Right. So that's a very basic fuselage. I'm just gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna go into the. Okay, if you notice, when I go into solid mode, I can see the vertices that are on the other side of this. I find that to be really annoying. So you see next to the dot line and triangle down here, you see a box. Click the box. It hides stuff further there on the other side. I mean, if you want to see stuff on the other side, just press Z. I mean, come on. Just going to wireframe to see stuff on the other side. Because normally I don't want to see them. It's really annoying to be trying to select something and then click something accidentally on the opposite side. It's really annoying. Yeah, I finished ranting. So hit Control 1 to go to back view, and you want to click the triangle. What the triangle does is you can select entire faces as opposed to just vertices with the dots, and the line is to select edges. You can still, you know, select more than one. Oh, just to be sure, you can click something to select it, and to select more than one thing, you just hold Shift and then click. It's like if you're using, you know, Windows and you click something, you hold Control to click more than one thing. I don't know what it is on Mac. It's probably the same thing. I don't know. It's probably Command. I don't know what it is. But in this, you hold Shift. You can select more than one thing, like additive. So I'm gonna hit Control 1 to go in the back view. You will notice that 1 is front, Control 1 is back. Your Blender might not animate like mine does the view when you're switching it. It might just snap. That doesn't matter, it's just aesthetic. But if you want it to do that, you can just drag down the top. Your top will be by default down anyway, but I just dragged it up to free up space. You can go to View and Controls, and over here Smooth View. You can set that to whatever you want. It's by default 0. If it's at 0, it doesn't snap, it doesn't animate. But I put that to 500 milliseconds, so it will take 500 milliseconds to rotate. So if I'm just at a slight angle, yeah, it will just rotate it for me. So simple. So I'm gonna, you want to select all these back faces. Now you can either click and shift. That takes too long. You can box select them, but then you're trying to select a circle with a box. It's sometimes really annoying. So you can just hit, well, it works, but blech. You can press B twice to do the brush select thing, and then you can scroll to make the circle bigger or smaller. You can size up the circle to fit the faces exactly, so you just select them, or you can just you know, click and drag right around. So what you want to do, you want to hit E to extrude it. I'm going to pull this in on the Y just a bit, scale it down just a bit, then I'm going to extrude it again, and then bring that down in the Y. That's going to be our exhaust port, or exhaust pipe, whichever you want to call it. I'm going to make it, you know, serrated because it looks really pretty. So I'm just going to select every other vertex here. This part is absolutely unnecessary. I'm just doing it because it looks pretty, and it actually does have a use in real life. It actually is used to reduce your infrared signature. You might notice this on the Dreamliner engines, the 787. You can search 787 and in Google, and the engines look like that. It's to reduce noise and infrared signature. It actually does something. and it just happens to look pretty kick-ass. Okay, so this is our plane. We haven't really shaped it to be a lifting body, so it can't fly without wings. So let's add some very simple wings. It's gonna be easy. How am I doing on time? Of course, this is gonna be 3 parts again. I'm gonna, before I forget again, I'm gonna do the background picture thing. If you're making a real plane, you can go down here to view. It doesn't have to be a plane, it could be anything. You go to view, background image, hit use background image, then click load, and you just find it. Wherever you saved your image, you just find it. Like I've got this thing, it's like a perspective. Let's say I was modeling that. Also, the background images only appear if you hit 1, 3, or 7. If you rotate it, they don't appear. Yeah, you just, have your background image, and you can use the X offset and the Y offset to move it. You can adjust the blend to adjust how much you see it. And the size is, of course, the size of it. If you're making a plane, you can load multiple background images. You can right-click split area, right-click on the border, hit split area. You get 2. You can change the background image over here independently of over here. So you can have this as front, have this as top, or whatever. You can probably split it again and do the same thing. Yeah, but I'm not doing that because I'm just, oops, I want that header. No, I want the header. There we go. Yeah, it's very straightforward. So let me uncheck use so it's not there. I don't want it. And we're in the top view. Oh, you need numlock. You need the numlock to be doing these rotations. If you turn off numlock, it doesn't work. You need it on. Yeah. Okay, so the wings I'm gonna put somewhere back here. Probably along the center line like this. Probably right here. Well, this is a little nifty trick I usually do to make the wings look more wing-like instead of just boxy. You can select the front 2 vertices, merge those at center. Do the same for the rear vertices, merge at center. It looks kind of like some sort of octagonal shape. You can drag these down to the shape more, like an airfoil, whatever. I mean, the plane doesn't have to fly, the wings don't have to do that shape, but it doesn't matter. And you can hit E to extrude. What that does is, if you try and grab these out, it doesn't, well, it can work, but it doesn't look right. You hit E to extrude, just the faces you have selected. And I'm not going to bother about the other side. But for those who are really picky and want to see it now, fine. This is the side we're going to work on, so I'm going to delete the opposite side. Just B for box select. Select all that. Hit X. You can either hit X or you can press the delete key. It doesn't matter. Delete vertices. So you've got half of the fuselage. Looks kind of silly. And go down here. Under the editing buttons, make sure you're not in edit mode. Well, it works in edit mode. It doesn't matter. Excuse me. You add a modifier. Mirror, and it mirrors it, but if you're into edit mode, you can't edit the other side. I want to be able to edit both sides. So you turn on this thing that says do clipping, and you turn on this little circle thing.